Welcome to Golf Smarter Mulligans number 40. I'm Fred Green. How much does fitness fit into your golf life? Are you someone who finds yourself with various aches and pains after a round, or even during the round? Then this is an interview that could change your life. Our guest is golf fitness instructor Bobby Kelly, who provides us with exercises and drills to strengthen your core, increase your flexibility, and, bonus, give you more distance off the tee and consistency with every club. It's helped me, so I'm sure that you'll find something here that works for you too. Golf Smarter Mulligans is brought to you by twoguyswithgolfballs.com. Let's talk about golf balls for just a second. Of all the things that we blame on a bad shot, how often is it the ball? Do you clean the ball every time? If there's a clump of mud on the ball, do you clean it? Think about a beach ball that has a bunch of sand in it. It's not going to roll straight. Well, it's the same thing if you have mud on the ball. But how often do you go, oh, I lifted my head. Oh, I can't believe I missed that putt. I pushed it to the right. Maybe it's because you're playing with a different ball every time you play. Maybe it's because you play with a different ball multiple times during a round because you found a new one. Why don't you start playing with the same ball every time, with the same type of ball every time? And that could be a key to enhance your consistency, because not all golf balls are the same. But one thing about golf balls that seems to be true, they're expensive, especially if you lose a bunch. So go to twoguyswithgolfballs.com and buy quality used golf balls. They grade them in 3 different categories. There's Eagle, Birdie, and Par. And these 3 categories dictate price, but it also dictates quality. The Eagle quality ball is like playing a brand new ball. But the best part is you're paying half the price of a brand new ball. These balls have been hit before, but maybe once, maybe twice. There's no blemishes. There's no marks on the Eagle quality balls. They're just like brand new balls. They may have logos on them. They may have somebody's writing on them, but they're brand new balls because they've only been hit once, maybe twice at best. So check them out today, twoguyswithgolfballs.com. And after you make that purchase, or when you're making that purchase, make sure that you use the coupon code GolfSmarter at checkout, because as inexpensive as these balls are going to be from twoguyswithgolfballs.com, you're going to get an additional 10% off with every order, every time. That's twoguyswithgolfballs.com, and use that coupon code GolfSmarter, and that expires on April 1, 2020. Hey, welcome, Bobby.
Hello, Fred. Good to talk to you. How are you today?
I'm doing fine. I think that before we begin, we should say that if at any time during this conversation our listeners feel faint or dizzy, you should pause your MP3 player immediately and consult your physician.
Okay, well, that sounds like a plan.
I was watching your DVDs, and it always jumps out to me. It's like, if you're doing a workout DVD and it says, just stop working out. What are you doing? I don't want to be responsible for you falling over because you're doing a great workout here.
It's definitely true that when you're in the fitness industry, you have to cover your bases. And, there's always that little blurb at the beginning where you go, all right, everybody just, you got to be smart when you work out. And especially golfers, a lot of times I'll run across the amateur golfer who finds out that the Tiger Woods and all the professional golfers out there have added fitness. And then they go out and they think, okay, well, in high school I could run 5 miles, no problem. And they go out and they run 5 miles, and then they realize they can't walk for a week, because they haven't done that since high school. So, thus we have a nice little disclaimer.
Yeah, exactly. You said something right in there about workout smarter. Maybe we got a podcast coming up. We can do exercise smarter or golf workout smarter. We should talk about that at some point.
I think that's a great idea. It's so easy to add the fitness component to a golf routine. And one of the things, for me, creating some of the programs and working with some of the people I've gotten to work with in my career, is everybody wants it simple and easy. And, it's working out can get hard, but it's only as hard as you make it. And simple, small changes can make a huge difference in your golf game.
And simple and small changes in your workout life, it's not a difficult thing to accomplish. I think the difficult aspect of it is the discipline. I don't think that's simple and easy, and I think that is what we have to help people with, is just being disciplined about it. And a podcast, I think, is a great discipline because when you get into your routine, whether it's your commute or your walk or your workout, whatever it is, and you bring your iPod or your listening device with you, well, come on, it's an iPod, that creates a discipline, right?
It's funny you say that because one of the things that I found as a fitness professional, and I've been in the industry for almost 20 years now, and the thing that makes it consistent and practical is if they have something they can follow. And I have found that, let's say for the golfer, they have difficulty making time to even go to the driving range, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you get people who say, oh, it's raining, or it's too hot, or I just don't have time to drive over there, hit balls, and then go to the gym. And it doesn't have to be that hard. In the fitness aspect, there are so many things that we can do where we combine hitting golf balls and doing something that will strengthen your core. For example, most people, and I think you've probably seen this, if you watch a PGA Tour or an LPGA Tour player, rarely will they go out there and hit thousands and thousands of balls anymore. When they were a kid, they did that because that was just passionate and they loved it. But the discipline now is, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to hit 15 9-irons, and those 15 9-irons are going to be very, very specific. Well, what if I told you that there was a drill and a fitness component that we could add to it where you hit 5 balls, then you do maybe a minute and a half of a certain exercise, hit 5 more balls, then do another minute and a half of a certain exercise, hit 5 more balls, and each time your ball flight, the way you hit the ball, the actual shot that you're taking is going to become better and better and better, and the whole time you're strengthening your core. That's something that is disciplined and easy to do. Would you agree?
You've got my attention. I mean, if you can give me an opportunity to go out and hit a small bucket and get some core strengthening in, I'm all over it. I'm listening. And
that's the simplicity of why building your A game was created. So way back when Tiger came out and that very first interview where he said, guys, he was just talking to the reporters, I didn't have my A game today. And I went, wow, everybody wants an A game. So how can they build it so that it's simple and easy to do? Well, as knowing, living in Arizona and knowing a ton of teaching professionals, they know that their hard thing is getting them to the driving range. But they also know that flexibility and core strength are really missing components in today's golfer. So back in the days when Nicklaus and Palmer and Player and all those guys were going, and I mentioned Player specifically because everybody who is a golf enthusiast knows that he's been doing fitness since back in the 50s. Every single one of those guys just was able to fine-tune their game so that they worked with their equipment and they were able to just kind of work with their bodies. But today's golfer, since the Tiger craze has come up, the new teenagers and the young guns coming into the game right now all have a similar component. They have a very stable lower body, they have a very solid core foundation, and they have a repeatable swing. So they know exactly what their swing's going to do at any given time because they've trained that way. And these guys will make time, and don't get me wrong, for anybody who already goes to a gym and makes time to work out, there are options that we can create that work for them as well. But the whole idea is that strong foundation, lower body, core strength, and flexibility are all going to add distance and make you play golf at a higher level, which is, the main goal is to make golf more fun.
I've mentioned numerous times on this program that I've been doing a core strengthening course for the last 2 years, and it has done not only to my golf game, it's removed a lot of my back pain, and I've lost 20 pounds. And I don't go to the gym and do heavy workouts. I've been doing a core strengthening class twice a week for an hour at a time, and it's made it easy for me to lose that weight. But it's also enabled me to go from a 16 down to a 12 in my golf game.
And that's the beauty of this, is that when you add some simple movements, and I think you hit it right on the head. You don't work that hard. You don't lift heavy weights. I'm not asking someone to go out and see if they can bench press, something Arnold Schwarzenegger would do. I'm asking them.
Hey, wait a minute. That's my governor. Watch it.
My thing is that I'm looking for small, quick, 15 to 30-minute workouts that people can do.
Oh, I like that.
That they already implement into their lifestyle. And if they don't, then this isn't too daunting and too difficult for them to start working out. I mean, we all know that you could get onto the driving range and you can go play golf and you can, look around, and what are you going to see? You're going to see, hot dogs at the turn. You're going to see beers in the golf cart, and there's nothing wrong with that. But there are a large portion of people out there who want to play golf at a higher level. Mm-hmm. And in this day and age, having a better body and implementing a lot of these principles is really what it's going to take to do that.
Based on the emails that I receive from the listeners of the Golf Smarter podcast, I think that these are people who love to play golf and are interested in improving their round. They always seem to want a tip or a drill that's going to, make them more confident. We want to build the inner game, but there's more to it than that. And I think this is the kind of thing that, you say building your A game. If you build it, they will come. I
agree. Now, let's do something right here for your podcast listeners. So building your A game is all about improving your posture, improving your core strength, improving your balance and coordination. So here's a simple tip. Let's give them a freebie right off the bat. If you already are a gym rat and you're somebody who does work out, and you are in the gym and you're doing bicep curls and you're doing some shoulder raise sides or you're doing push-ups, just simple things like that. What if I told you that all you had to do was for a number of repetitions somewhere in the middle of that? So most people do 10 to 12 repetitions when they work out. Let's say from 8 to 12, when they get to 8, they stand on one foot. Well, you'll quickly find out, and as I have, a lot of people can't do that. Mm-hmm. Now, if they get set up and they want to do the exercise on one foot, they're going to start to improve their core strength because now they're implementing more musculature to make things happen. So, on that free tip, here's what I would say to everybody. Now, provided that they are not out driving in their car while they're listening to this podcast, I would encourage everybody listening right now to stand up.
Okay, here we go.
And as you stand up, be prepared to have something close by, like a chair.
Got it.
And be prepared to need that chair. And all I'm going to ask you to do...
This is my favorite part, by the way, of doing the podcast.
Yeah.
It's an excuse for me to, do this stuff firsthand, and I love this part. So it's just a conversation between you and I. Forget everybody else.
Okay, you got it. It's all about you right now.
It's all about me, Bobby.
So, Fred, tell me this. Are you a left-handed or right-handed golfer?
Right-handed golfer.
Okay, so you are like most of the golfers out there in the world, and I'm going to ask you to set up in your golf posture position.
Okay.
And all I'm going to ask you to do is bring your shoulders back a little bit more and stick your chest out. Kind of think about just looking at a perfect golf swing analysis on CBS. And now your chest is up and you're not hunched over. Now all I want you to do is I want you to imagine that someone's going to come up like the Pillsbury Doughboy commercial and poke you in the stomach and get that little Pillsbury Doughboy to make a noise. And so now exactly. So now your core is tight. Now I'm going to ask you, if you were going to get ready to take a swing, I want you to close your eyes. Now this should not be a big deal. You should be able to close your eyes and stand there. Now I'm going to ask you to stand on your left leg and just mimic, with putting your hands together, mimic making a golf swing.
On one leg?
Yeah, on your left leg only.
Okay.
So as you're making the swing, you're probably realizing there's a lot of things moving here.
Yeah.
I can barely stay standing up, let alone make a golf swing.
Right.
Now stop.
Thank
Relax.
you.
Have a seat.
Can I get off the floor now?
Yeah. If you did fall over, you didn't lean on that chair like I asked you to.
Oops.
What was the whole point of that drill? The whole point of that drill is inefficient golf swings come from inefficient body movements. So, if I asked you to do that, and now you were swaying and tilting and moving and trying to hold on to your balance, when you go into your downswing, you want to have a firm left side if you're a right-handed golfer, right? You hear Pels talk about it. You hear Butch Harmon talk about it. You hear Hank Haney talk about it. You want to have a firm left side as you're making impact to the ball. Well, if you can't do it on one leg because everything's moving, then you have somewhere in your golf swing become inefficient. And that's all we're trying to do with the fitness portion of it is this little freebie tip is balance and coordination help you build a repeatable golf swing so that when you want to smack that ball and make it go 20 yards further, you don't have to swing harder. You don't have to change your body position. You just have to have a more solid core and better balance. It's really that simple.
Wow. It really is?
It really is that simple. Think about this. When you are watching golf on television, and once again, let's just say Costas and McCord are out there, and they're talking about, okay, let's look at Phil's swing, and or let's look at Mike Weir's swing, or whatever, and they say, okay, now look at how he brings the club back, and it's on a nice even plane, and then he gets to the top, and his lower body's quiet, and da-da-da-da-da, and then they put it at full speed. Does it really look like these guys are working that hard?
No. And both of those guys, it's interesting that you mentioned two lefties when you said that, Phil and Mike Weir. No, those guys, their swings are flawless. They're effortless, I should say.
And, let's say we want to talk about a righty. The Big Easy, Ernie Els. Does it look like he is swinging out of his shoes? No.
Never. It drives me nuts.
And simple and easy. And most people think to make the ball go further, you have to swing harder. When in reality, you need to be a little bit more flexible. You need to have a little bit more core strength, a little bit more lower body stability. And that, in essence, is what's going to make the ball go further. And I will give a prime example. I coach a number of college golf teams. And these young guns between the ages of 18 and 22 they have not even reached the potential that they need to put on muscle mass and become big guys. I get these kids who are 6 feet tall, 6'1", 6'2", 150 pounds soaking wet. I can't even tell you the last time I weighed 150 pounds, and I'm 5'8". And I have these guys who come in, and they're built like me. They're 5'8", and they still weigh 140, 150 pounds. They don't weigh anything at all, and they can hit the ball 310, 305, 300 yards regularly, and they are small, petite guys. Why? Because they've learned how to utilize their body in a powerful manner. So you don't have to be a big, strong, strapping guy to be able to hit the ball a long way. Mike Weir is not a big guy.
No.
Corey Pavin is not a big guy. Now, Corey Pavin is probably one of the tiniest guys out there. Jeff Sluman. Are they still hitting it 290, 295? Yes. Why is that? Because they've added fitness into their routines. Yes, technology does have something to do with it, but technology is based on having an athletic golf swing as opposed to, a lazy, just relaxed golf swing.
And it's not having to do with being able to play golf every single day and having the top coaches in the world to coach you do this?
I think that, people will hire, well, people will, for example, people hire me on high levels of golf because they want an expert who knows what it is that they need to do, and they just want to be told what to do. Well, the same thing goes for a swing coach. They want someone to look at it and say, oh, you're getting a little over the top. Oh, you're dropping the elbow here. Oh, there's too much this, there's too much that. And then they say, okay, well, you don't have the flexibility to do that. You got to go see Bobby Kelly. Okay, great. So they come and they see me. I put them through, a series of tests. And when I do that, I can check and see, well, what's their hip strength like? What's their flexibility like? I'll give you another freebie. Here's another very simple freebie for the podcast listeners. So hopefully you're sitting back down, Fred, and you're enjoying.
Oh, I was going to ask you, can I sit down now?
Yep.
Okay, hang on.
You're sitting down.
Yeah.
And I am going to ask you to sit up like you're going to start typing on a keyboard.
Got it.
And as you're doing that, I'm going to ask you to take your right leg and bring your ankle and put it up onto your knee. Now, we all know that if you're in a business meeting, you're trying to be a gentleman, there are two ways that you can sit. You can sit with, your knee over knee, and you kind of flop in the legs, so your legs are crossed, and, you look very kind of calm and relaxed. But then you can sit where you kind of put your leg in a figure four. So the only thing that's on top of your left knee is your right ankle. Okay. And you're probably, if you're like most men, you're going to find out that your right knee is sticking straight up in the air. I mean, this is very uncomfortable for you. And you do not like the fact that your leg is crossed in this way. So all I would say to you is right off the bat, I know that there might be some hip inflexibility that would need to be changed. Now, let's say I have a person listening to this, a man or a woman, and they're going, okay, well, that's not really all that uncomfortable. I actually feel pretty good. Well, now what I would do is from this figure 4 cross-legged position, I would say try and lean forward and put your chest down on your shin, and you will start to feel a stretch through your hips.
Ouch.
Exactly. Your hips, your lower back.
Help me.
And for example, a couple, maybe it was a year ago, when Phil Mickelson was out, and it was during the time when he was in shape and he had lost all that weight. He was playing very, very well. And he had been talking about the exercise routine that he had put together. And he was at the Masters, and there was a long wait at the par 3. And he sat down on the ground, he crossed his legs, and he leaned forward, and he put his elbows on the ground in front of him. And all they could do on CBS was go, that's amazing. This is a big guy who you can see that he has drastically changed his flexibility. And by doing that, he opened up his hips, he made things more fluid, simpler, easier, and by the way, you can relax now. You don't have to keep stretching while we're on the phone here.
Thank you.
You will find out that simple stretches like that make it so that when you bring the club head back into the backswing position, you're going to do it, and it'll go to the same spot, and you don't have to worry about getting over the top or coming too far inside. Most people have that problem because they set up and they have to straighten their right leg, which gets them out of alignment, and then what happens is they change the whole plane of their golf swing simply by locking out their knee in their backswing. And it's simple things like that. And anybody who's ever gone, one of the things I do is if I have a tour player come in, the first thing I do is I videotape their swing. And then after 6 weeks of working with them, I show them that videotape. And it has nothing to do with, all of them, I do not claim to be a swing coach. Some of my college golfers like the way I analyze their swing, and that's great. But, there are people out there, they spend their whole career, and all they do is look at golf swing after golf swing after golf swing after golf swing. And just like me, I look at bodies after bodies after bodies after bodies. So I can look at somebody and watch them walk down the street and find an imbalance and see something that they may not see.
Well, you live in the Phoenix area, and from what I've witnessed, watching body after body after body after body is a sport in itself in Phoenix.
I'm a lucky guy. I will not deny that. When it's 117, there's a lot of great outfits on the golf course. I can promise you that. So for the moral of that story is that if you set somebody up and you improve their core stability, and you improve their posture, and you improve their balance and coordination, and then I videotape their swing 6 weeks later, they're going to go, that is so much better. And if they've really been doing it right, they probably look a little skinnier because they've lost a couple pounds along the way.
What is the most dramatic result? And I don't think I should be asking you for specific names, although I'd love to. What are the most dramatic results that you've seen from start to finish with somebody that you've worked with who was either not necessarily a professional golfer, but either a professional golfer or a college level golfer? And how long a period did it take to get those dramatic results?
Okay, let me give you two stories right off the bat, and I have another one in the back of my head that if time allows, you may say, hey, what was that third story?
Okay, fine.
Let's take a pro golfer.
Okay.
This was a guy who was on the tour, kind of just lingering about, trying to find his way. And
no names, right?
No names. One of the reasons why guys like to work with me is they like that I keep it confidential. A lot of these guys, don't want to have their names out there, and they don't want to get bugged when they're at the gym and things like that. So this gentleman was playing okay golf, but he knew there was something missing, and all of a sudden, young guns were coming, he was in his 20s and late 20s, and Tiger Effect was full bore. So he came to me and said, Bobby, I've got to do something. I don't do a lot of fitness. I played some sports in high school other than golf. I was a pretty good basketball player, and I was a pretty good swimmer. And, I need to do something. I said, all right, well, here's the deal. You haven't done a lot, so we have to start off slow. We have to start off small. Started him off. Long story short, he starts to play better. And if you want to know what exactly can fitness do, this guy went from a full journeyman, just barely making the cuts, barely making his card every year, and now he's a 2-time winner on tour.
Oh, wow.
So
that's results, yeah. And how long of a period did that?
Well, now we're talking about the PGA Tour here, so that took about 18 months to 2 years. But here's the deal. He was competing against the best in the world.
Right.
So it's kind of hard. It's a lot different than going out and winning your local Pro-Am or, winning the club championship. You are going against Tiger. You're going against, Charles Howell. You're going against these guys who, this is their life, 24 hours a day. They wake up in the morning, they eat, sleep, and drink golf.
So do we. We just...
That's true. But, sometimes we have to go to work in between.
Yeah, right, exactly. Work is just an excuse to pay for golf.
Exactly. Now, let's take the flip side of that. Let's take somebody who is a weekend warrior. They want to play some golf. They want to enjoy their time. And they want to go out there and during their, Lord, let's hope it's only 4 hours of golf, they want to go out and shoot some good scores. So this person, let's use a woman this time. And she came to me, and she ended up playing a round of golf with me, 18 holes, and said, what do you do, blah, blah, blah. I said, why don't you come over, I'll give you an assessment, we'll work on your stuff. She was about 30 pounds overweight, and she was, I think at the time, she was a high 20s handicap, so she wasn't very good at all. And she said, I really want to get good at this. I want to play with my husband. I want to be able to make this, more fun, because right now this is awful. So we put her on a 6-week foundation program where it was you do these drills, then you go and you hit these balls, and you come back and do these drills, and, you're good to go. 6 weeks goes by. All of a sudden, she's swinging, she's hitting the ball straighter, she's getting a little bit more distance. Long story short, from the beginning of the summer to the end of the summer, we took her where, now, her handicap went down, but not, according to the USGA card right away. She went from shooting over 100 regularly to breaking 85 regularly from the beginning of the summer to the end of the summer.
Nice.
And, that's a great, realistic, everyday story.
Awesome.
Did she go and win her club championship? No. But did she have more fun? Did she feel better? And she lost 15 pounds in the process without trying all that hard.
No. Did she beat her husband?
You know what? She does beat her husband now. I don't know if at the end of that story she did, but she
and that gives you another client.
Absolutely.
He would not stand for that in any way. It's like, wait a minute, I want this too.
Oh, he was. I can promise you, the very first time she came home and she beat him, he literally was on the phone with me saying, I want to know what you've done to my wife. And I'm going, sir, I didn't do anything to your wife. She just plays good golf now.
Let's talk about building your A-game DVD set. I was really impressed with it because you give, it's not just you. You have a PGA professional on here helping you out.
I do.
And which is really nice because it really puts it into proper terms because you claim you're not a golf teacher, golf instructor. You're a fitness expert. So I think the credibility is there from the beginning. It's a 3 DVD set called Building Your A Game, and it's about your core strengthening, and it's about flexibility, right?
That is exactly right. If I can just take 30 seconds, I'll tell you where it came from.
Please.
I was not a golfer when I moved to Phoenix. I was a fitness pro, and that's what I did, and I played a lot of other sports. And I came to the Valley, and I said, you know what? If I'm going to come to Arizona, I better learn how to play golf because that's what apparently everybody does here. This is the Mecca. And so I met the gentleman you were speaking of, is Tim Souser. He's a PGA professional, and we were out here, and I said, I want to learn how to play golf. And one of the things he quickly learned was that I had not played a lot of golf before I started this. So I had already been training some golf professionals. and they had said to me, Bobby, I can do all the things you do. I can listen to all your advice, but you gotta start playing golf to learn exactly what I'm talking about. And I've always said that if I'm going to teach something, I better be pretty good at it. So the challenge came up where one of my golfers, I said, you're on the road most of the year, and you're gaining weight, and you're losing money, and you're not getting as high on the money list, and you're having trouble making cuts. You've got to start eating better. And he said to me, Bobby, when you can hit a golf ball 300 yards and you have a single-digit handicap, I'll eat whatever you tell me to eat. But until then, I'm going to keep eating McDonald's and whatever I want to eat. So I took that as a personal challenge. So I met Tim, and I went, and I got my handicap, and I was a 26 handicap. I was awful. I said, this isn't going to work. So we sat down, and I said, Tim, what do you think is the biggest factor in amateur golf that keeps them from becoming better golfers? And he said, Bobby, if people would come to a golf professional and they could make their bodies do what I tell them to do, they'll get better at golf quickly. So I said, all right, what do you need their bodies to do? And he said, I need more flexible hits, I need more core strength. I said, what if I built a routine to go with this? And he said, Bobby, I've got 25 clients right now. You put them on a routine, we're good to go. So for the next 2 months, we put 25 of his clients on a routine, and all their handicaps dropped significantly. So then we said, well, we've got something here. So we created these 3 DVDs. And we wanted to share our philosophies: balance, coordination, core strength, upper body strength, lower body strength, golf swing specific stuff that makes sense and save time. And that was our first 2 DVDs. It was show a golf drill, show the exercises you need to do to make that golf drill make sense, move on. So there's all of our upper body moves, all of our lower body moves, all of our core strength, all of our flexibility. And then DVD number 3 was, okay, what's the best way to do this? Well, I'm a fitness pro. So I have shot video after video. I've done DVD after DVD. I've taught thousands and thousands of people all over the world. So we created something that they could follow along with if they wanted to. So the 3rd DVD is I'm on the screen. I'm telling you exactly what to do. Lift this weight, make your body do this position. There you go. Moral of the story. We have 3 DVDs, all of which are going to help you add golf-specific exercises and golf-specific drills. And at the end of the day, in 18 months, I went from a 26 to a 5.
Wow. I'm impressed.
And believe me, those golf pros who are saying, I'll eat whatever you want, they eat whatever I tell them to eat now.
It's very good. Well, Building Your A Game is the DVD, and you also are a very active online marketer with your website, resultsonly.com. If listeners go and sign up at resultsonly.com and ask to be put on the email list, you're very good about sending out emails and giving tips and advice and drills on those emails. And that's how I found you. Actually, a listener wrote to me, said, see if you can get Bobby on because he really does a great job.
Well, thank you. That's great. Results Only is my parent company. It's where I originally started. It was my fitness facility. But I came up with Results Only because that's what people want. They want results.
Absolutely.
And if you're going to come to a trainer, whether people are coming to me for golf, general fitness and health, or to coach them through other areas of fitness, they want results. Well, when Tiger came out with his A game, I said, I can build people's A games. That's what I can do. So what I decided to do for the podcast listeners and yourself today is we created a special page just for the listeners, and all you have to do is go to www.buildingyouragame, just like it sounds, and buildingyouragame.com, and I've decided to offer for the DVD normally sells for $97 on the website. If you go to resultsonly.com, you're going to want to go there and sign up for the email list, and you can still look around and get all my information. But if you want to get this special deal, you want to go to buildingyouragame.com, and for the month of August, we are going to offer it to your listeners for $69 instead of $97.
Wow. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you.
You're
That's
welcome.
very nice. So everybody, please, there's a couple calls to action here. A, go to buildingyouragame.com and get this DVD for yourself. I promise you, it's a really good DVD set. There's 3 there, so you can work on stuff and take your time with it, but it's going to help your core strength, your balance, and it's going to improve your strength out on the course and your level of play. And Bobby's offering this phenomenal offer. He's taking it from $97 down to $69 for the Golf Smarter audience. And that is going to expire just at Labor Day, which is Monday, September 4th.
There you go.
Okay, so September 4th, 2007, make sure you get that order in before that date or the price is going back up to $97. And again, that's for the Golf Smarter audience. Thank you very much for doing that. And also, if you're intrigued, again, this is a call to action for the audience. If you're intrigued about an ongoing podcast, a fitness podcast that is golf-specific that you'd like us to look into producing, send an email. Go to golfsmarterpodcast.com, click on the Hey Fred button. Send me an email saying, yes, I want a fitness podcast. We're doing one on equipment now with Golf Better, and then we have this one on the inner game with Golf Smarter. And I'm always looking for ideas because I receive emails from people saying, I want more than one podcast per week from the Golf Smarter group. And I'm always looking for ideas, and I don't want to just continue doing inner game. I'd like to branch it out and do other aspects. So send us an email on that, too. Bobby, is that okay with you?
I think that's a great idea because, to me, I gave just a couple of small tips, and hopefully your listeners were able to try a couple of things and went, well, I'm really not very good at that, and all I have to do is become better at that and become a better golfer. That's right up your alley, Fred. You have a huge number of people that you can touch and you can affect and help them make their lives better when it comes to golf. I would be happy to help them on the fitness realm whenever I can.
That's a great offer. Thank you. Okay, you know what? We've gone over what we usually go, but give us one more quick drill, please.
One more quick drill. Okay, let's go. Where do you lose most of your strokes in golf?
Around the green.
Yes, you do. And most people don't really pay attention to that. And most often I find that people who can help with, can get their putts down into a reasonable number, they can do things much better. Well, we did the whole balance thing earlier. Let's do it again. Next time you go out to the putting green, I want you to set up and I want you to start hitting putts. And then the very next thing I want you to do is I want you to realize that just when you start hitting your putts, they're going to start rolling nice and easy. Then I'm going to ask you to close your eyes again because you want your body to do what it does naturally. So instead of, like before, where we had you stand on one leg, I want you to tighten your core. I want you to fix your posture. I want you to do your best imitation of the golfer that you most resemble. If you're a tall guy, think of a tall golfer. If you're a shorter guy, think of a shorter golfer. Close your eyes, stroke the ball, and I bet you if you hit 10 putts, you'll hear at least 5 or 6 of them go in the hole. Because what we've done there is we've let the body do what it wants to do. And that's what adding the fitness component to your golf program will do. Your body will do what it wants to do. You're not forcing it. You're not jabbing at it. You close your eyes. You take out all external forces. All you do is see the hole. All you do is let your body relax. You've set yourself up with a tight core. Your shoulder and posture are good. You hit the ball. It goes in the hole. You lower your scores. Bang. We're done.